Saturday. Happy Saturday, everybody. I should try not to bounce so that way my computer doesn't get all kinds of crazy and bounce all over the place because it is on my lap. Normally, Saturday mornings, I am at work due to some work restrictions. I have the weekend off and I'm now working Monday through Friday. So my life is a little crazy readjusting to another new schedule. But because this is going to be shared in a couple different places, I want to say hi. I'm Jen Krug. I live in Wisconsin, and the title of this video is Don't Be a Little Bitch. Okay. I didn't come up with this title. What it is it has come from this book right here from Grant Cardone. It is chapter 6. And here's my thing. I have the book in hand. I also have it on my Audible because I love to listen to audiobooks. Sometimes I tune them out and just kind of go about my day. Sometimes I turn them on while I'm sleeping and hope that subconsciously I retain some type of message that is going to help me when I wake up and start my day on a better foot. But this book right here is where this title is coming from. Whenever I go to restart this book, I always start with chapter 6. It's not actually called Don't Be a Little Bitch, actually called Assume Control of Everything, but he first straight up says, I wanted to name this the title of this chapter, Don't Be a Little Bitch. That's what is stuck in my head. That's why I remember it's chapter 6, and I love to start my journey with this book with that chapter every single time that I go that direction. And I wanted to share some things that I have found in this book that I think relate to just about anybody. So it doesn't necessarily have to do with the business that I'm in. Maybe you're in your own business. Maybe this has to do with your relationships. Maybe this has to do with your work life. Really, the messages in that book can transpire to any part of your life that you choose to make it relevant to. Really, the book's called The 10X Rule, the only difference between success and failure. Success is a relative term. Success doesn't always equate money. Success can equate to whatever it is you desire in your head. So I did take some notes because I go off on a tangent and I'm like, hey, squirrel, I don't know what's happening. So I wanted to try to stay on track. So let's get to Don't Be a Little Bitch. And if you're offended, it's cool. You can tune out. It's fine. I don't get upset. You're allowed to share this video if you feel like there's somebody who needs to hear this message about assuming control of everything. So honestly, what caught my attention is that, he really wanted to call this chapter Don't Be a Little Bitch. He didn't want to offend anyone, so he named it something else. For me, I'm here to be real. I won't apologize if you're offended. That's not my problem, okay? It's not my problem. Then this live may not be for you. But really, I'm kind of gentle. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. Here's what he says towards the beginning of this chapter. Crybabies, whiners, and victims, they don't do well at attracting or creating success. So if you are stuck in that mindset of being a victim, being a crybaby, being a whiner, don't get me wrong, I have my moments. Man, I am not perfect. I am not always positive. I am not always on point. But if you get stuck in that mindset, you will not do well at attracting or creating success. End of story. It's true. It's happened in my life. It happens. You're capable. Okay, you have to remember that you are capable of creating success, but it is impossible to take big actions if you don't take big responsibility. Here's where I'm going to get a little personal. The last 2 months or so, I've fallen short, both personally, professionally, in my relationships, in my business, with my family. I've fallen short of my own personal expectations, my own personal goals, and I will be the first person to admit it and accept accountability for that. If you don't take responsibility, you will not get anywhere. And I am aware of that. I knew that before I read this chapter. It's hard. It's hard to pull yourself out of that mindset. If you hit a low in your life, it's hard to come back from that. It's hard to just snap out of it. It's hard. It's hard. It's just hard. Okay. I have an occasional narcissistic personality. I like to play the blame game. I like to revert back to the past, my abusive relationships. I like to place blame instead of taking responsibility. That gets me nowhere other than continuing those actions that get me nowhere. So I have to remember and remind myself on a regular basis, and really need to remind myself more often, I'm not living that life anymore. Why do I choose to play the victim? The relationships that affected me, really it's one, ended exactly 2 years ago. Okay. It ended 2 years ago. I still find myself blaming that for some of my personality traits, because again, I'm not perfect. I still blame that for how I treat others on occasion. That's not okay. I don't get to make other people feel bad about being themselves. I don't get to make other people feel bad for learning how to navigate their life. And sometimes I do. So that's where I'm accepting responsibility for some of my actions in my personal life. Now, it's equally impossible to do something positive when you're making excuses. And I've proved that one to myself time and time again. Here's where it comes to my business. Y'all know I am passionate about what I do, what I love, what I share, how I help other people. I get messages from people telling me I have literally saved their lives, saved their marriages, saved their relationships, saved them from themselves, because I did that with myself by choosing the direction and the product that I use. I can't do something positive, though, if I'm busy making excuses. I have a busy life. I'm now working full time. I've got my daughter dang near full time. She's got her activities. I'm dealing with problems with my hands. I'm dealing with failing school because my hands held me back. I'm dealing with so many things, but those are excuses. How many times have we made an excuse when really the solution was probably so much easier than making that excuse? So when you find yourself making an excuse as to why you're not doing something, change that thought process and think of what the solution is. Is that solution a lot easier than the excuse? Probably. Success doesn't happen to you. It happens because of you and your actions. So again, whatever your vision of success is, it's never going to happen to you. You have to make it happen. It's your actions. It happens because of you. But if you do not define what success means to you, you will never find it. I have struggled for a long time, and I've talked about this on lives in the past. Vision boards and setting goals, and me being able to think bigger is because I question my worth. I know what I'm capable of. I know what I'm worthy of. I know what I deserve. I struggle to define that, and I'm at a place in my life where it's now non-negotiable that I define that. Here's something Grant Cardone said. About 50%, and that's his estimation, there's no scientific value behind that. About 50% of people play the victim, play the blame game. They're probably offended right now. And he says, anyone who uses blame as the reason why something happened or did not happen will never accumulate real success in life and only further his or her status as a slave on this planet. Nikki, if your excuse is you just don't want to, that's okay, but what's the solution? Ray Higdon's going to say, do it anyway. And I know you do. Okay, you are one of the most ambitious people I know. And I imagine when you're like, I don't want to, you do it anyway, because that is the only answer. And I've lived that myself also. I think it runs my family. Nikki's my sister, by the way, y'all. you do it anyway. Same thing with the problems with my hands. I worked through the pain. I worked crying. I worked with ice packs strapped to my hands. I tried to teach myself how to do my job one-handed because guess what? You do it anyway, no matter how much pain you're in. It just got to the point that literally I physically couldn't do it anymore. Okay, I'm starting to get a little bit of feeling back in my hand. My left hand is not okay. My right hand is getting there, which is great because that's my dominant hand. It's a problem. You do it anyway, even if you don't want to. Unless it's a negotiable item and you don't have to do it, then whatever, don't do it. Okay, so I'm going to repeat what Grant Cardone said. Anyone who uses blame as the reason why something happened or did not happen will never accumulate real success in life and only further his or her status as a slave on this planet. Go interpret that however you want. I'm not even going to get into it because you should just know exactly what that means. Once you accept that whatever is happening, has happened, or will happen is caused by you, you'll get where you're going in life, whether that's good or bad. That goes both directions. It will happen or has happened or is happening because of you. Life doesn't happen to you. Life happens for you. That's probably one of the most important things I've heard, and I don't know if that was in this book or somewhere else, but life happens for you, not to you. Here's something that came from one of my mentors, although I'm rephrasing it with my personality, all right? Do you feel like the same shit show keeps happening to you over and over? Is your life a revolving circle of negative circumstances? It's the universe presenting a lesson waiting for you to learn from it. Once you do, that situation will stop appearing. Your thoughts become things. If you constantly share that I'm broke, I can't afford this, I can't do this, I can't, guess what? You can't. Start looking at it differently. Start changing your thought process. I am successful. Right now, my level of success, yesterday was a great day. Guess what? Today is a new day. My level of success today can be different. It can be whatever I make it to be, or I can sit on my ass. I can do nothing. I can play the blame game. I can make excuses. And guess what? That's what I get. So happy Saturday. I hope you guys have an amazing day. And I don't know, what should day 3 be? Today was don't be a little bitch. Stop making excuses. Stop being the victim. Stop playing the blame game and do something about your life. Bye, guys.